You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls as well. I'll give you another phone number here, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326. You can give us a call, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. You got Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter from the Santa Rosa Beach studios. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. A lot better this week, I feel. It's I'm not going through the whole Moderna flu like I was last week. If you were listening, I made it through the whole thing. I'm not dead. I felt like I was going to die, though, shortly thereafter getting off the air. So
glad you're still with us, buddy.
Yeah, I am too. Kind of.
Kind of.
It's been a long week. We won't get into that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Some UCF stuff going on. We're getting ready for football. I mean, it's coming quicker than you might think, honestly.
I mean, it's going to be here before we know it.
I know, yeah. I saw something the other day, and it's only like 100 and something days. So it may even be shorter than that. I don't know. So September 4th against Boise. So that'll be interesting. I think we're going to go through the schedule a little bit later on. Let's talk about the other news, though, this week for UCF. I know that there's some basketball news, and Ben, you're the perfect person to talk to about that, men's and women's basketball. You texted me earlier in the week about this, so go ahead with that.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with the women's side, where Masani Kaba, Corgiana Saunders, and I'm going to butcher her name, Yana Walker. Those are three seniors this past season that could have certainly opted to come back, and all three of them are coming back. And that's really huge that Masani Kaba and Sanders are coming back as well, because that essentially completes our starting lineup, our same starting lineup that finished second in the conference last year and made a run to as an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. That entire starting lineup is coming back with a few key additions. So that's really huge for Coach Abe and the women's squad that they're coming back. Kaba is a huge force in the middle, and Sanders certainly had a breakout season last year. So that's really exciting. And then just in addition to that, this recruiting class from the high school of the men's side, from the high school signees that we've already gotten. I don't know if you guys mentioned it last week on the show when I unfortunately couldn't make it, but we just signed last week Tyam Freedom, who was the junior college All-American last year. So that's a huge signee. He's a 6'6" guard. And then yesterday we actually signed a big man.
Good luck with this name.
Yeah, we needed this in this class. I was worried about our own women's players. This guy. So I'm gonna take a crack at it. All right. So Sheik Baki Diong is the I believe the man's name. Well, certainly that's his name. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But a 6'11" forward. He's a real versatile player. He was second in the Mountain West in shot blocks per game. or block shots per game, I should say. And so certainly, and kind of randomly, he's from the same city, Dakar, Senegal, as Taco Fall. So we're getting another big man presence in the middle, which is really needed on this squad with a young guy, which is really our only returning center in the middle there. We only have one. So getting a senior leader, he was the captain of UNLV last year. I think he's going to provide some great depth. He could be a starter, I'm not sure, but certainly provide some great senior leadership and depth and defensive ability, which is really shaping up. This recruiting class for Johnny Dawkins is shaping up to be one of the best ever, if not the best ever. So it's really exciting what's going to happen next year. Yeah,
it's exciting to see what he has done. We had always kind of worried. I know we've talked about this a lot and kind of worried, like, man, this recruiting is kind of weird that he does. Had a lot of junior college players for a while, and they're in the last couple seasons and everything else, but it seems like the transfer portal and then now the high school recruiting has really kicked in for him. So hopefully, it seems like the guys that he's getting out of high school are well-known players and big-time players, actually. And that's it's hard to do
one of
in
our
college
first four
basketball.
Stars. Right. One of our first 4 stars ever is coming in this year in Darius Johnson, and we've got a couple more 4 stars coming in down the line. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that this offseason especially, actually, it really started last offseason with him getting in Isaiah Adams and Jameel Reynolds. That was a big class, but certainly the quality and the amount of players that he's getting in this year, he's really kind of sinking in there from a recruiting standpoint. And you're right. In the beginning, he had to plug a few holes with some transfers, kind of immediate needs to make sure that 2018-2019 team was really propped up with all that talent that they had. And so now he's really building the program over the last few recruiting seasons where you're really going to see it come to fruition when you got guys like Dre Fuller and Darren Green Jr. and Tony Johnson being juniors this upcoming season, being veterans on this team, and mixing in with these young guys. I think it's going to be really exciting.
Absolutely. And then the ladies that you were talking about were all seniors and are actually getting to come back because of the COVID-19 NCAA rules that they had. So
that's right.
That's a big deal, especially that they get an entirely, another year to play. So that's a big deal.
Masadi Kaba was an all-conference first-team player, and then Corgiana Saunders was second team. So I mean, that's 2 huge players coming back for us.
Absolutely, Roger. You got anything to say about this?
A couple things. For the women's team, definitely Masani Kaba coming back cannot be understated. And then with Saunders, in addition to Diamond Battles, because remember, Saunders towards the end of the season was actually playing off the bench. So between those two and our Syracuse transfer, we've got a really, 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 really good squad coming back, and pretty much the entire squad that went to the NCAA tournament last year. So that's really exciting. In addition to that, just talking about Tyam Freeman, wow, I can't talk today, from Indian Hills. This guy, again, freshman All-American, averaged 18.1 points per game. And here's the big number for me, 7.3 rebounds per game. So not only was he slashing, but he was also going back and getting those boards. And as you remember last year for our team, that was extremely important, and then pair that with 52.2% shooting. So obviously, you're not playing the same caliber of player in the junior college ranks, but I mean, he's going to be impressive. So we're going to have a very, very stacked team for Johnny Dawkins next year.
All right. Well, the transfer portal is working for all sports. I can tell you that. I was looking earlier, and I saw a list of transfers from football. And the list is, I mean, if you look at it all in one list, it's pretty impressive. We have another guy coming from Notre Dame on the transfer list which is a big deal. Jordan Johnson, I think we talked about it last week. I can't remember what we talked about last week, to be honest with you. So
we did. We did talk about Jordan Johnson last week.
Okay, well, I remember a little bit of it, but not very much. So, yeah, Jordan Johnson, wide receiver from Notre Dame, who was a 5-star, I believe, when he came out of high school. That's a big deal for UCF. To even get a 5-star guy in the transfer portal. That makes a big, big difference for, what's going on at UCF. And I think that other guys will follow us, especially if he does very well here in that transfer year. So, but looking at the list, I'm just going to go down it here. Brandon Johnson from Tennessee, already enrolled, so he's been here for a while. Running back, that was a wide receiver, Brandon Johnson, by the way. Running back, Mark Anthony Richards from Auburn. Running back, Isaiah Bowser from Northwestern, who I can't not wait to see in a Knights uniform, by the way. Wide receiver, Nate Craig Myers from Colorado State / Auburn. Been at both places. Defensive lineman, Big Cat Bryant, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Defensive tackle, Ricky Barber Jr. from Western Kentucky. Defensive end linebacker, Harkley Latu from BYU. I don't know.
You did well.
Right.
You did.
And kicker Casey Riker, I'm not sure which one it is, App State, who was the number 2 or 3 transfer kicker that was available. And then we talked about Jordan Johnson from Notre Dame. And then Bryson Armstrong from Kennesaw State, a linebacker. This dude was the top defensive player in all of the FBS the last, I think 2 years in a row. This dude is incredible as a linebacker. I hope, and I've said this before on the show, I hope that he plays safety here. I think he would be an incredible field safety, not the deep safety, but the up safety. And I think that he would do very, very well in that situation. So we shall see.
That guy's tape is impressive. He's got a lot of speed. He seems to kind of be a nose for the ball guy. He's exciting to watch. I'm glad that we were able to land him.
Yeah, so if you watched spring ball and you went out there and watched the spring game, you didn't see any of these guys. All of these guys are just now getting here. In fact, they're posting stuff on their Instagram and their Twitter and all that stuff that they're on campus. So all these guys are starting to get on campus now, and this could really change the lineup quite a bit from what you saw in the in the spring. I guess I say preseason, but it feels like it's preseason for college football. The spring. There's a lot of practices left to go, obviously, throughout the summer and getting ready for, the fall, I guess. But a lot of things could change, especially at the running back position. I think that Mark Anthony Richards is going to be inserted in there in one way or another, and I believe Bowser will as well. This Bowser guy, I love the name, number one. That's a football player name, Bowser.
For sure.
And I hope that the full stadium at some point starts chanting Bowser, because I can't wait for that. So
you can almost hear it over the PA system now, Bowser.
Exactly. All righty. Hey, so we're going to take a break here. We'll be right back on Knightline at night, and we'll be talking more about football and all the other sports. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Be back with you in just a few minutes.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. Got Big Ben Stout and Roger Phipps with me, talking UCF sports. We were talking about football before the break there, and the transfers and all that, and I don't really know where I was. Oh, I was talking about the name Bowser and this guy from Northwestern, this running back. He's a big dude. He's stout. He's like a little bowling ball. I cannot wait for this guy I can't wait to just see him in a UCF uniform. I'm so excited. This is probably I know it's crazy, but besides Big Cat Bryant, this is the guy that I'm the most excited about. And he's probably going to play fullback or something.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm just excited about this guy. He just seems like, to me, an old school football player, even though he's a young guy. He just seems like the type of guy. If you watched his tape from Northwestern, I mean, you can look it up on YouTube or whatever, Isaiah Bowser. He's just a hard-headed football player. So, I don't know. I cannot wait to chant Bowser the entire freaking stadium. So, it's going to happen. Because I think, this guy could be a short yardage guy, right at the end. He could score a lot of touchdowns if we're in short yardage. Right on the 2-yard line, 1-yard line, boom, Bowser, Go ahead, Roger.
No, I was just going to kind of riff off of that a little bit because, I'm excited about three things with these transfers, right? One thing that we were lacking was the power running game. And we have upgraded the size across our running back room that will help us, especially in those short yardage games. Because remember, again, when we were inside the 20, being able to run between the tackles was tough for us. So between the counter game and some of the blocking schemes and maybe having a fullback, I really have a lot of confidence because we were basically using tight ends as fullbacks before. The other two things is, like you said, Big Cat and that D-line, right? That was one of the areas going into the season that we were worried about. Gus obviously addressed the D-line across the board in defensive tackle, all the positions basically. DN, defensive tackle, etc., which will help us slow down that running game, and teams like Cincinnati won't be able to run out the clock as easily, which is really, really, really important, and we'll get pressure for the secondary, which is going to be the question mark for me. And then lastly, on the linebackers, what we were missing last year was speed over the middle and being able to cover, right? So we've got two, Tatum Bethune coming back and Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste, who are both very, very good linebackers, but again, we don't know how well they're doing in coverage. Someone like Bryson Armstrong will help us just simply by being able to stay over the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the defense, I mean, with these guys, especially Big Cat Bryant, I mean, this guy is very, very, he's a special player. The Auburn fans that I know were texting me and calling me the day that he announced that he was coming to UCF, and they're like, wow, that's a really big deal that you guys are getting that guy. I think he's going to wreak havoc. And then with the rest of the guys that we have coming in on the defense and the guys we're getting back on defense that sat out last year, I really think that this defense could be special this year, like absolutely special. This could be something that we have not had at UCF for quite a while, a defense like this. I think this defense is going to be stout. Hopefully our offense, and the defense both will be extremely good. That would be, something a little bit different. Maybe back to I don't know, the Bortles years or something. I think it was you, maybe Roger, that said that last week or whatever when I was talking about how I thought the defense was going to be good. It could be a defense like that, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Go
I was
ahead,
saying
Ben.
it reminded me of I was saying a couple weeks ago that it did remind me a little bit of the 2013
Or maybe
squad.
it was
that
you,
was a little
Ben.
bit
I
more.
don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, it's
who
all
said
good.
what.
It's just a little more balanced. That's all. I mean, and that's what I like to see. Is you mentioned Big Cat Brian already. I mean, we got Kalia Davis coming back, and then you have Ricky Barber, another addition there. A big guy coming in from the other side of the defensive end there. I mean, the line is going to be good for the. It was a little bit of a struggle for us last year, the defensive line, and I think all three levels are just going to be much improved from last season. And kind of one of the things that we kept saying is why can't we have a top 10 offense, top 25 defense? Why can't we be good at both? And I think this team has a chance with some of the players they've already got to come in, along with some of the players that are coming back to be special like that. And so it's really exciting to see how this roster is shaping up. And you're right. I think the fall camp is going to have a lot of competition, and that's only going to lead to good things.
Are you guys excited yet?
Yes.
I'm super excited. In fact, it makes me want to play this.
Everyone's excited. I'll be excited.
A lot of excitement.
I'm excited.
Nice.
Excited.
I mean, I was excited. I know my team was excited too.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm very excited.
You're just excited to get back out there.
I think everybody's excited.
All right. Well, that was some guys from last year's team, the little thing that I put together. But I will try to get some of the voices from this coaching staff and this year's team. Maybe that was last year or even the year before. I can't remember. But everybody kept saying how excited they were. So I thought that I would make that, and it would be, kind of exciting to have. All right, so we're going to take another break here. We will be right back on Knightline at Night, and we'll talk more about football and everything else UCF sports related. Give us a call. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036. or visit protectingvets.com. Or you can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326. Or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I am Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Bad and Stout at BigSocial32 on Twitter, and Roger Phipps at Bengal on Twitter. You can find all the rest of our content at KnightlineSports.com. We're talking UCF sports. We've been talking football. We were talking a little bit of basketball. What do you want to talk about next, guys? Where should we take the rest of the show? The second half of the show right here.
Well, I'm
giving it to you. I was opening it up for you guys.
Well, I am excited about the schedule. We can start taking a look at that if you guys want to, because I think we've got that locked in. And talking about football excitement, I'm just looking at it. It was kind of funny. I was like, this kind of looks like a Big East schedule if you really look at it. We got UConn on this year. We've got Louisville in here. Boise State's kind of like a West Virginia-esque. So I was kind of looking at this, and I was like,
I don't know where that comes from, but whatever.
I mean, just from quality. I mean, at the time,
the old
Big East.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're
the
saying.
old Big East. So, I was like, it was tough to see all those teams leave, but then you're looking at some of these names, and it's like, wow, it's kind of like a Big East-esque schedule if you really look at it.
Oh, just because Louisville's back in there and UConn, I guess. I see what you're saying. So at Louisville, at Navy, at Cincinnati, at Temple, at SMU. Which one of those, if you were planning a road trip, would you want to go see? Either one of you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for me, it's at Louisville. I was not able to be there for the Surrender Cobra game, and I have family that's right there across the river, or the Ohio River there. So for me, I mean, Louisville, that's a big game. They were okay, but they're still an ACC opponent, and anytime we can play an ACC opponent and trounce them, which is what I'm expecting for this game, then that's a good time for me.
Ben?
To me, I like the Louisville pick, but going in our conference, I've just heard so many great things about the Naval Academy in Annapolis. I'd love to be able to check that campus out and be able to see what that's all about. I've heard it's a great place to go visit, and early October, the weather will still probably be pretty nice. I'd love to go to the Navy game. That'd be my pick for this year.
I'm gonna agree with you, Ben. That would be probably, I think, a bucket list game to go to. And I know a couple of years ago we played them up there, and a lot of people from UCF went up there to see that game. Mm-hmm. And I didn't hear one person have any negative things to say about going up there to see that game. The area is beautiful. What's that?
I was just saying I was there. I went to that game. I took my son there that year. So, you're right. It's definitely a bucket list item if you're a college football fan. They do tours of the Naval Academy that you can sign up for beforehand. I think you had to sign up 2 weeks out. Now, again, with COVID restrictions, I don't know how that's playing out.
There shouldn't be any COVID restrictions anymore.
I hope so. So, with the Naval Academy, it was absolutely gorgeous. They do a really great job. The stadium is actually away from the academy, which is interesting. It's on off-campus stadium, and it's about a couple-mile walk. There's a lot of parking around there, but when you actually go in the stadium and you're looking up, and they've got all the names of the major battles that the Navy and Marine Corps have been in, you have a great flyover. All the seats have folks that have graduated from the Naval Academy, watching the midshipmen get out and do push-ups, and the before and the after of the game, just listening to everybody sing the alma mater. It really does give you goosebumps, because you realize these are the folks that are going to be defending us and putting their lives in harm's way. So for me, it was an amazing experience. I'm glad I got to do it with my son, and I definitely encourage anyone who hasn't gone to go.
All right. Well, yeah, that's basically what I was saying. It should be a bucket list item trip because of everything like that. Everything you just said there. So
their practice fields, I saw an Instagram post earlier this year. Their practice fields are like literally right on the water. They're like right there on the bay. It's pretty cool to see that. I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to be like as a team this year. They weren't horribly great last year. They lost let's see, all five of their last 7, we'll say. They were not great last year. So hopefully they're a little bit better and it'll make a little bit more of a game because I know that that last game up there was a pretty good game. Even though we did pretty well against them, but I know that we were a little worried and it was kind of a big deal to go up there and play them when they first.
Well, they go as their quarterback goes. So, they had a lot of seniors last year. They started off, remember, it was, there was so much controversy because the coaches didn't allow them to tackle due to COVID restrictions to begin the season. And their first game, they got blown out and everybody was like, what the heck's going on? And it was because they weren't able to have contact tackling at the Naval Academy. So after game 2, they started to pick it up. But really with Navy, no, it didn't help as much. They weren't being blown out.
They won 3 games and it was all in the first half of the season. So,
yeah. But they're definitely, I mean, when you watch them, don't expect a lot of passing. I know when I watched them play us in Annapolis, they just absolutely, they're going to run it down your throat, run it down your throat, run it down your throat, and wear you out. So it'll be really interesting because they really do go with that triple option with how their quarterback goes.
All right. The next biggest one, I think, you mentioned Louisville earlier, but I think the biggest one, because it's the first one, Boise State. I think that's going to be a huge game. Boise State has kind of argued back and forth with UCF fans and of who is the non-Power 5 powerhouse, and it was them for a little while. It was us for a little while. Is it time for them to get back on the horse or the Bronco? I guess. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I think I am really looking forward to that matchup because you're right. I mean, they certainly in the early 2000s and in the late 90s. I mean, they were the kind of surprise, the Statue of Liberty play against Oklahoma. I mean, they were this kind of surprise little team that could, and they've to their credit, they've really sustained that. And I think that over our rise over the last 7-8 years, the 2013 season and of course 2017 and beyond up till now, we've kind of taken that mantle as the best team, best program, the most building program in that group of quote unquote group of 5. And so it's kind of cool to see kind of old guard versus new guard in that kind of vein of college football. And to see them go up against each other would be really, I can't wait for that matchup. And I also just can't wait for a new season, hopefully just everything, tailgating, completely going for real college football atmosphere in the bounce house.
Well, it sounds like it is. I mean, from everything that I've heard so far, it's all a go. So that's going to be really exciting. We did have a common opponent last year. They played BYU, I believe. So yes, and we both lost pretty good to BYU last year. They lost 51-17. We lost 49-23. So yeah.
So we did better.
We did better technically. We technically did better. We scored more points, and then BYU didn't score as many points. That was oh boy. I don't even really want to. The PTSD is coming in from even watching that game last year. I shouldn't.
BYU was a heck of a football team last year.
They were.
So
yes.
Yeah.
They absolutely.
And we were not quite up to par that game, that's for sure, and we were very depleted, especially on defense.
Yeah, they also played Houston last year. They played Navy last year. Who else? Common opponents. I think that's it for common opponents. But that was BYU. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong team, which happens when you're trying to search back and forth through stuff. Let me see. Last year, Boise State played. Any other common opponents? No other common opponents for Boise State because not a lot of interconference play was playing.
That's right.
Out of conference was played last year. So,
and maybe two opportunities.
Go ahead, Roger.
I was just going to say that, I'm very excited about this game because it really sets the tone for the season. Now, a couple of things to remember about Boise. Bachmeier, who was supposed to be their phenom quarterback, could not keep vertical last season. So their offensive line was a little lacking, which is why they didn't do as well as you would expect for Boise State. In addition to that, with Boise State, they also have a new head coach, just like we do. The difference is Boise always hires from their own coaching tree. And this person was a defensive-minded coach that had been away from Boise for, I think, 2 or 3 years, coming back into to lead the team. So I feel like, knowing Gus and how well he's integrated himself and stuff, I almost feel like it'll be a tougher with a defensive-minded coach with offensive problems, I think it'll be a tougher slate to turn it around than it will be for us. So hopefully that bodes well.
Yeah, absolutely. So they played, obviously, an abbreviated schedule last year as well, but they only lost 2 of those games. One during the regular season, and I think their other game against San Jose State was it was a neutral site game, so I'm not sure if that was a bowl game or what it was for them, but they lost that game. They lost to BYU and San Jose State. Like I said, that being a neutral game, not sure what that was. December 19th, so I'm assuming that was some kind of a bowl game or a conference championship maybe or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was probably their bowl game, I guess.
Yeah, with the abbreviated schedule, they had 2 games canceled, so luckily
we were
didn't
one
have
of the
any
few
games.
teams.
Yeah, they didn't have games canceled, so that's good. Who else on here really quickly are we excited about?
I think one of the things that I just want to point out is just this we talked about Navy earlier, right? And, their chop blocking is always a little bit of an issue, but just kind of the stretch after we have a bye week after at Louisville, and then we go at Navy, at home versus East Carolina, which is always gives us a little bit of trouble from that historic matchup that we had, that rivalry, at Cincinnati, and then at home for Memphis. So that's a 4-week stretch. That's a pretty difficult one. And then we got to go to Philadelphia the following week. So, I mean, you get a 5-week stretch there. That's a difficult stretch, especially the ending of that at Cincinnati and then coming back home and a quick turnaround against Memphis. That's going to be a pretty interesting portion of the schedule where we're going to really find out a lot about this team.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think the first few weeks, the first 3 weeks of this season will really tell the tale of the entire thing. Obviously, we play an FCS team in the middle of that Bethune-Cookman as well. But Boise, Bethune, Louisville, I think will really tell a story of how the season's going to go. Louisville, obviously, being quote-unquote Power 5, will be a test. ACC, always a test. So hopefully it will, go the way that we want it to. So, all right, we're going to take another break here. We will be right back on Knightline at Night, and we're going to talk a little bit more about everything UCF, plus a Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this.
We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same
thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys? Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. Taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO. Probably not going to happen since we only have a few minutes left. But got Big Ben Stout and Roger Phipps with me, by the way. So we're talking UCF sports, obviously. And it is now time for our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week because we got to get these in. Getting short on time here. Here we go. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, who wants to get it started this week with Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week? Roger?
I'll get us started. All right, so for this week, I am going to stay with our football theme, and I'm going to say my Tijuana Flats hot take of the week is that wide receiver Jordan Johnson will be in the starting rotation by the 7th game of the season.
The 7th game. Okay.
I'm being very specific.
7th game of the season.
Oh, boy. Roger, you crack me up. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Hot
Better
take.
mark that down, guys.
He circled it on his calendar. The 7th game. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So would that be against Memphis or against Temple, Roger?
I believe that's Memphis.
Okay.
Memphis is the 7th game of the season. And here's the reason why, real quick. He's learning the system. That's it. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
That's good stuff.
Well,
right
I'm gonna project even further out into the future, and I'm gonna say that our superstar freshman on the track team, Rainea Jones, is going to be an Olympian in 2024. So I'm project out even further. She's 100. She won the American Conference Championship for the 100-meter hurdles this past weekend at the AAC conference meet, and she was named Freshman of the Year in the conference. So she's got a bright future, and hopefully she'll be representing not only Knight Nation but USA as well in the Olympics.
That would be really cool. We haven't had an Olympian in a while, so
yeah,
couple
it's been
of years,
a long time.
So, yeah, the last one I think was a volleyball player, right?
Yeah, Dahlhauser. Yeah,
Dahlhauser. The last time, and that was a ways back because we're off of Olympic years now. This year, I guess this summer we're supposed to have Olympics again, probably.
Yeah, I think in a few weeks.
Yeah, excited about that. Excited.
Yep.
Okay. Well, my hot take of the week is, I'm going to get a little vague here on this one, but I'm going to say one of our defensive players in football will be the AAC Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not going to say who, because there could be multiple guys that could be in that, realm. I really think defense is going to be where it's at this year. Way better than it's been in a long time. So it's a hot take because you never know.
Hopefully we have a lot of Knights on that all-conference first team.
Exactly,
that's for sure. That'd be awesome.
But I believe one of them will be, crowned one of our Knights crowned or whatever, anointed the AAC Player of the Year. So,
well, our D line will definitely be stout.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for football. We're going to be talking about football a lot until it starts, obviously. So
I'll say this. I mean, it doesn't feel like football season's that far away because we've had all this transfer news. So it's been a great off season.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. Definitely been a crazy off season, and they're doing those the things where they go around and talk to people as well. So all right, I can't remember the name of them. All right, well, we're out. We'll see you next week. Go Knights.
Charge on.